last year, exit 2024, saw a steady growth in our numbers. We broke the ceiling, which obviously as a country we've never seen before, where we exited 2024 with 2.2 million international tourists. That in itself, Honorable Minister, we will not sit idle, but want to see that this particular number translates into real jobs, translates into opportunities for investment, and many others. And obviously, Honorable Minister, we want to showcase what Zambia's iconic waterfalls and the diverse wildlife and unique bird species are. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the new family of the Zambian currency represents more than just a currency. It is a visual narrative, the telling of a story of Zambia's natural heritage. Of each note is a canvas depicting the essence of our country. Honorable Minister, this particular currency, which we all know that money has a velocity to move, it will now give an opportunity not only to us, the Zambians, but indeed anyone who will have time to actually hold this currency, look at it properly, and they'll be able to start asking questions. What we want to see is to create this awareness of the natural beauty that this country of ours called Zambia has to the rest of the nation and indeed the world. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the notes features the majestic African eagle, a symbol of strength and resilience, soaring above the land. The new banknotes also reveal endemic flowers carefully chosen to showcase Zambia's incredible flora. These flowers, ladies and gentlemen, are unique to our land, and they add a new, fresh, and distinct design to our currency, while underscoring the theme of the nature that runs through every element of this particular note. You will see when we unveil the currency, ladies and gentlemen, that on the reverse side, the beauty of Zambia's landscape unfolds. 6 of our nation's most famous waterfalls are featured as follows. Yes, indeed, everybody talks about the mighty Msotunya, the Victoria Falls, but we all know that Zambia sits on a lot of water bodies. And we are here to showcase that the Kabwelume Falls is on the 10 Kwacha note, the Chishimba Falls is on the 20 Kwacha note, the Lumangwe Falls is on the 50 Kwacha note, the Sioma Falls is on the 100 Kwacha note, the Kalambo Falls is on the 200 Kwacha note, and of course, our world-renowned and majestic Msotunya will be on our 500 Kwacha note. These waterfalls are natural wonders and critical components of the tourism sector, encompassing breathtaking landscapes, vibrant heritage, and unique experiences that tell our country's beautiful story. Ladies and gentlemen, the Minister of Tourism is looking at ways of creating nominal infrastructure development at all these waterfalls so that it becomes easy for you to access, to view, as well as becoming easy for you to access to go and invest in those areas. These waterfalls, ladies and gentlemen, are accompanied by Zambia's wildlife, with the pangolin on the 10 Kwacha note, the black lechwe on the 20 Kwacha note, and the black checkered lovebird on the 50 Kwacha note, the thornycroft giraffe on the 100 Kwacha note, the black rhinoceros on the 200 Kwacha note, and obviously the buffalo on the 500 note. These animals symbolize a delicate balance of wildlife that thrives within our country's landscapes. Each of these animals, Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, depicted on this banknote tells a story of the environmental sustainability and the wildlife conservation. I want to also indicate to you, ladies and gentlemen, that all these particular animals I've just spoken to actually are endemic in Zambia. And these are animals which, as a ministry, we are guarding jealously so that our children and our children's children will be able to see them. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the endangered wildlife species, I'll speak to the rhino as well as the pangolin. In the world of illegal wildlife trade, these two wildlife species have mostly been targeted by poachers and illegal wildlife traders. Zambia
Our government is committed to conservation of both the rhino and the pangolin wildlife species. It must be noted that significant financial investment to conservation wildlife, and therefore featuring these species on our new banknote underscores and re-emphasizes the commitment and the assurance of this government, and in particular the Ministry of Tourism, towards wildlife conservation efforts. As a ministry, our goal is to see that the number of rhinos and pangolins grow in our country. Thank you very much for that, Honorable Minister. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the black lechwe and the black checkered lovebird. History indicates that these two species wildlife could have existed naturally outside Zambia. But today, and according to most recent studies, they are now naturally occurring in Zambia, where the black lechwe is naturally endemic in the Bangolu wetlands. Those of you who may not have taken an opportunity to go to the Bangolu wetlands, once you see the currency and the black lechwe on the note, please take time to go and visit the wetlands. It's a beautiful place. I've been fortunate enough to go there, and I don't think I should be the only one to enjoy the beauty itself. And the black checkered lovebird is another beautiful wildlife spectacle, which is endemic only to Zambia and naturally occurring in southwestern region of Zambia. And as such, ladies and gentlemen, we celebrate having these wildlife species by featuring them on the banknote, which also underscores the need to conserve them and their unique habitats, which they are here in Zambia. The giraffe, as well as the buffalo, depicts Zambia's unique tourism capabilities, which sets apart as a distinguished tourism destination for both photographic as well as the consumptive tourism. The Thornycroft giraffe, in particular, is a rare spectacle of wildlife which contributed to the photographic tourism experience in the Luangwa ecosystem. Zambia is also home of the iconic African trophy heavyweight, which is the buffalo, and it is widespread in the country and have many years attracted many tourists in our country. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in addition to the new banknotes, we also showcase tree species. These include the Zambezi teak tree on the 10 kwacha note, the candelabra tree on the 20 kwacha note, the baobab tree on the 50 kwacha note, and the mukuyu tree on the 100 kwacha note, the ingombele tree on the 200 note, and the acacia tree on the 500 note. These symbolize the deep root that binds our land, which we are part of the ecosystem, forming the fabric of our culture and our identity. And Honorable Minister, you and I understand that we are always talking about having an identity as a country. And one thing that sets us apart from any of these countries is our culture, which obviously we want to guard jealously as our identity. The story is not complete without the iconic Big Five, which has been featured on the family of father, mother, and the two young. The Big Five. The African buffalo on the 20 kwacha note, the rhino on the 50 note, the leopard on the 10 note, the elephant on the 200 kwacha note, and the lion on the 500 kwacha note. These, ladies and gentlemen, are among the most sought after animals for tourists to visit for the safaris and wildlife experiences, and government, through the leadership of our President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, has put in place several measures and initiatives to ensure that these valuable resources are protected. Ladies and gentlemen, you might not know, as government and obviously through the Ministry of Finance, we have been given a boost to see how best we could market tourism in our country. And as I had mentioned earlier, this is yielding results, and we're very ambitious with the numbers that we want to showcase at end of 2025. The new coins have not been left out in showcasing the country's flora and fauna and the promotion of its natural heritage. The lion on the 5 kwacha, the roan antelope on the 2 kwacha, the Zambian barbet on the 1 kwacha, and the African elephant on the 15 Ngwee. The eland antelope on the 10 Ngwee and the indigo bird on the 5 Ngwee also represent the country's unique natural resources. Now, ladies and gentlemen, most of you may not know about these animals, but now we are going to force you to actually see these animals when you actually get this currency and look at it. And I'd like you to take time when you receive this note. I believe, Honorable Minister, that will be dishing out a bit of cash to everybody who's here today. So those of you who may not understand what these animals are, you have an opportunity to have a look at them today. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the new series of banknotes and coins are not only a celebration of Zambia's flora and fauna, as I mentioned, but also an invitation to the world. An invitation to the world. We will unveil this new currency we're making, a bold statement. And as I mentioned earlier when we talk about the universe aligning, this is what we're talking about. We've been talking about having to take a holiday, Yamuloko. We want our own Zambians to visit Zambia. There's no better person to market Zambia than the Zambians themselves. So we're starting to market Zambia through our currency. The new currency, ladies and gentlemen, presents a golden opportunity to highlight the importance of tourism as an economic pillar, one that can drive growth, create jobs, and build sustainable communities. At the center of everything we do in the Ministry of Tourism, considering that all these natural resources that we have are within the communities, we support communities. Those projects need to be committed, those projects need to be embraced by the communities. That is the only way you're going to see them thrive. The images of the banknotes and the coins serve as a visual call to action for both Zambians and the global community to explore and witness the beauty of Zambia. Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, as I pause, I wish to thank you all of you who are in here, for being part of this historic moment. And I look forward to seeing Zambia's tourism sector soar to heights as the eagle, promoting the beauty and the diversity of our land that has been well captured on our new currency. Honorable Minister, congratulations, and I'd like to thank you for your kind attention. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sikumba, the Minister of Tourism. Indeed, you can tell how excited he is with this new range of notes in our currency. And I was thinking as he was speaking, these notes will come in very handy for those of you who will have the privilege to travel out of the country, whether on the plane or in your meetings, wherever you will be asked about Zambia. All you have to do is pull out these notes and begin to describe this will be a tangible PowerPoint presentation, as it were, wherever we go. So indeed, thank you so very much. And once again, congratulations to the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Tourism. Obviously,
you were consulted widely and heavily before the launch of this. Well, now after that, it is now my privilege to invite to give us a presentation on the new currency, some more detail into the features, the Governor of the Bank of Zambia, Dr. Denny H. Kalyalia. Let's put our hands together for Dr. Kalyalia.
Thank you very much, the Master of Ceremony, the guest of honor, the Minister of Finance and National Planning, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwani, the Minister of Tourism, Mr. Rodin Skumba, the Honorable Cabinet Ministers here present, the Provincial Minister for Lusaka, the Attorney General and the Chair of the AMLA. I think some of you may not know what AMLA is. AMLA is the Anti-Money Laundering Authority, which we fall under. Her Worship, the Mayor of the Greater City of Lusaka, the Secretary to Cabinet, ST, the senior government officials here present, the deputy governors, the members of the diplomatic corps, I see some of them here. May I just ride on the protocols that have already been established by the Master of Ceremony. Where am I supposed to? I think we haven't rehearsed this. Okay, there it comes. Once again, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this very special occasion where we are launching the new family of currency for Zambia. So today is a very, very significant day in the history of our currency. To walk you through this, 6 sections that I'll go through, starting with this very introduction, then give you a bit on the legal foundation for the issuance of this currency, the rationale for the new currency, the design and security features that are on this currency. I'll spend a bit more time on that because that's what is the essence of this launch to a large extent. Then share a bit on the implementation and the transition arrangements, and finally conclude. Today, March 31st, 2025, marks a significant milestone in the history of Zambia's currency. The Bank of Zambia is issuing a new currency family, which consists of 6 banknotes, 500 Kwacha, 200 Kwacha, 100 Kwacha, 50 Kwacha, and 20 Kwacha, and 10 Kwacha. And to the family of coins, we have also 6, 2 of which were coins, notes, have now been migrated to coins. That's the 5 Kwacha, 2 Kwacha, 1 Kwacha, 50 Ngwee, 10 Ngwee, and 5 Ngwee. Now, in doing this that we are doing today, this is an ordinary event in our life as a central bank, but it is well founded under the law. Prior to 2016, when the new constitution came about, the issuance of currency was guided by the Bank of Zambia Act. But in 2016, the people of Zambia decided that this function is too important and therefore must be spelled out in the constitution. So Article 213, 2A of the Constitution spells out as one of the key functions of the bank issuance of currency. This is also taken up in Section 17(1) of the new Bank of Zambia Act 2022. So we are saying this because I think there have been issues being raised about people say, where are you coming from? This is what it is. The law provides for this, so does the Constitution, which is the supreme law of our land. Now, why are we changing the notes and coins at this stage? There are basic principles that we follow in deciding when it's time to make the change. It's really looking at what value these notes and coins represent. There are 4 main categories. 1 is high value, 2 is medium value, 3 is low value, and 4 coins. Now, these represent use cases. When we are talking of high value, we are talking of those denominations of our currency which serve as a store of value. This is the principle everywhere globally they follow. Now, at the time when we issued the 100 Kwacha and the 50 Kwacha, they were at the time the higher value notes, and they performed the function of store value. But with the time and with the movements in inflation, we have seen that that role is being eroded. So we felt that it was time to make the change. We should have done that earlier, but logistics and other considerations stood in the way. But in 2021, in July, at a special board meeting, but it was decided that time to make the move was then. But it has taken us this long to come out with the notes. I must say that we are grateful that there was no leakage of this information, because usually when you are doing this, there is a keen eye. There are people who are really looking around to see what is going on. They know what is going on, but this time around, we are grateful that that secret was well kept until, in fact, when the first consignment of the currency came in. That's when people saw trucks, and then they said, oh, something is going on here. So the basic point I'm making is that the currency had to be changed because the use values had changed with respect to the notes that we had. Furthermore, the fact is that technology is changing, so we can't be left behind, and therefore we have to come up with a modern design which suits the current environment. And in recognizing that technology is changing, so are counterfeiters. They are quite busy. One of the most counterfeited notes they go for is the high value note. So if we were just to print more of the 100 Kwacha notes, the security features were no longer good enough to deter the counterfeiters. So that's how come we had to introduce the higher value notes and also embed in those notes new security features. So the introduction of the higher value banknotes also serve a particular role of convenience in the day-to-day transactions. I'm sure you agree with me that what has been happening is that a lot of time is spent by people queuing up just to exchange money to do their transactions. That's very inefficient. We need to be more efficient. We want to spend time doing more productive things. So by introducing this family of currency, we hope that we are going to bring about transactions efficiency. Then we had to also look, like I indicated, the relationship between coins and the banknotes. We noted that the 5 Kwacha note and the 2 Kwacha note, once we issue it, when it comes back, it's just for destruction. It's no longer reusable. So we felt it was prudent to convert this into coins. We hear people say, no, that there would be too many coins. No, we think that it would serve a good purpose, because with the 5 Kwacha and 2 Kwacha, it will go a long way and they are long lasting. Then with the 20 Kwacha and 10 Kwacha, we also looked at what goes on in our country, the way we handle money, which is one of the things I'll also emphasize at the end, is sometimes for those of us who are in this business, we cringe when you give someone crisp, clean notes. The first thing they do is just crumple it and put it wherever they want to put. That reduces the lifespan of the currency, so we looked at this hard, whether we should just have a polymer, which is the way many others have gone, or we should combine this with the paper, which is the more common substrate that is used. And we came up with the idea of that we should combine the two, that is the polymer and the paper. So you feel, you see and feel when you handle the 20 kwacha and the 10 kwacha, they feel different from the rest of the notes. And also it's because these are the most used in notes in circulation. Now, turning to the design and security features of the new currency, first and foremost, which was well articulated by the Honorable Minister of Tourism, we felt that we needed to feature our unique flora and fauna in the country. And this family of currency is deliberately, the theme is Heritage Series. Yes, we may not have captured some of the things others may have liked us to capture, but we thought that what is contained now is representative enough of what is happening in our country. The front side of each banknote depicts the flying fish eagle, which the Honorable Minister again really went to town to explain what that represents. Then we have on the notes as well some depiction of some of the key economic sectors in the economy, mining, agriculture, and so on. We do have also endemic flowers. These are not just flowers picked from somewhere. We had to look at what flowers are endemic in many parts of our country, and we picked some which are contained on each of the banknote. The reverse side of each banknote features one of Zambia's waterfalls at the center with Zambia's endemic animals and the trees. Trees is something which we don't often pay much attention to, but there are some trees which are actually endemic to Zambia. For example, I don't know how many of you, it's not very far from here, have been to see the Ngwee, for example. It's trees, the tamarind and the baobab tree, which are combined and show a picture of a cow lying down. So, as the Honorable Minister of Tourism mentioned, this is an opportunity for you to see where is this in our country. Then each banknote, the 500, 200, 100 kwacha, 50 kwacha, and the 20 kwacha, in the side we do have the big five. What it shows is that there's the father there, and then there are the mother and the young ones. So from 20 kwacha, 50 kwacha, and so on, you find these being featured, which is also calling attention to the big five tourism attraction that it has. Then the security features, which I already alluded to, are really aimed at countering counterfeiting. What you see on the notes, there are watermarks, security threads, and the color shifting elements. I think when you hold these notes, you see that if you hold it in a particular way, you see one color, and you tilt it, you see something else. And on each one of them, the value of that note is also shown, and when you turn it in a certain way, you see the words BOZ. All these are meant to give some security to the notes so that it becomes not easy
for counterfeiters to do. Another simple thing I think we urge people to do is that feel the knot. It's not smooth, because sometimes you think it's smooth. Unless it's polymer, it's not smooth. There are some features there which make it a bit rugged, so to speak. Then we have on each of the knots the national coat of arms. I don't know how many here, I don't want to embarrass anybody, who know the significance of this. This was something which was taught in school. I think much as people are apprehensive about not having the statue, here the freedom statue, the coat of arms
does represent our country. This is what came in first.
And the emblem, one Zambia, one nation,
is printed very vividly on each of the knots. So this, for us, is a depiction of the core values of the country, that is national unity, peace, and togetherness that Zambia strives to uphold as a country. Then now we go to more precise security features. There are 4 ways in which you can detect this. You tilt, you look, you feel, you check through a microscope or through ultraviolet light. So if you tilt the knot, as I said, there's the security thread there. You see it's bolder the higher the value of the knot, and the more complicated it is to depict. Often counterfeiters, this is what eludes them, because you can reproduce this, but to get it right, that it changes colors as you do, is one of the most difficult things to do. Then there's the latent image. When you hold the knot, you see certain things which only become visible when you look very carefully. The watermark is another one. Then we have the see-through register, where we'll show later, you see the eagle. We have the fish eagle flying, but it's also embedded in the knots that you see. If you look carefully, it should show. Then for the visually impaired, this is one of the major areas where we had to see what we could do to make it easy for our brothers and sisters who are visually impaired. There are tactile marks. So that means when you touch the knot, there are things that you can feel. And then there are big numerals, as you see later, which are actually, you can feel them as well. We are developing an app, or the app is actually already developed. It's a question of releasing, where actually you see that on the app as well, it feels, you can touch it. Then on the checking, when you check under the microscope, as I said, there are certain things you see. There are serial numbers, there are small patterns that are all, every space on the knot is covered by something of a security nature. Okay. So let's start with the 10 Kwacha and the 20 Kwacha knot. So what you see there, that there are lines that run up and down the thread. This is the security feature, the security thread, which they are there. You see on the right hand of the screen, I don't know, I hope it is the same with you. You see those shifting colors there, the 10 Kwacha and the 20 Kwacha. So what is common about them is that there are lines which are running. It's different for each of the knots, and you see where it is located is on the side of the eagle. The location is also very important to bear in mind, because if you are in a hurry counterfeiting, you may find that it is on the legs of the eagle. Immediately you should know that this is not a genuine knot. I skipped the. Okay, for interest of time, we are skipping some of them, so I jumped to this 200 and 500 Kwacha. What you see here now, the thread is much more bolder. You see the 500 on the extreme right and the 200 next there. You see what I was saying, that when you tilt it in a certain way, you will see those coming out. One, you see balls, the other you see 500, it's the logo of the Bank of Zambia. So it will change for the 200 from gold to green. So if you see blue, it's a telltale sign this is not our currency. 500, it will change from magenta to green. So these colors are things that we hope you remember as you transact using these new notes. Okay. Again, in the tilt, you see that on the right there, you see that this kind of bar is going up and down. It will reflect that way. When you hold the knot, you will see like it is going away. Then you do that, it's like coming up. That's also part of the security. So you should be on the lookout on that. Then we do have these latent images on all the denominations. This is on the extreme right here, where you find these. It's all populated, as I said, especially if you look at under a microscope. It's very, very visible what is there. You find patterns which are not easy to see. So what we are also saying is that you see there's a stylized flower which will appear next to the bottom left denomination value. Again, location of this is very important. If you find it is on the right, it's a telltale sign that this is not our knot. Then the watermark, this is what I was saying. You see the fish eagle there, just the head. There's that flower there. They must be aligned. If they are not, again, it's a telltale sign for you that there's something amiss here, and you must report immediately. That's why I took time to say the AMLA. Those are the people who help deal with that. So that flower and the fish eagle must align for you to say that this is the correct knot. Then for the visually impaired, there are what we call tactile marks. These are on all the denominations, that is the banknotes. You see on the right hand side there, we have those dots for the 10 Kwacha note. They are different for each note, which enable the visually impaired to feel and tell, no, this is not correct. So this is something we think will help a great deal, and unlike the previous notes, even when they wear out this will take time also to fade away. Then we have the big numerals. You see the 500 Kwacha figures there. Those you can feel, and for the visually impaired, they can also feel that 500, you feel it. It's not flat or smooth. So that's another way to tell that, oh, this is different. Now, each note has the value of the note shown, one in the top right corner, and the other number is on the left bottom corner. Now, at the left bottom corner, you also see that that figure is in a box for all the notes. So it's not just exposed. That's also a security feature for the notes. Then at the back of the notes, that's where we have the serial numbers. The serial numbers, one is horizontal, the other one is vertical. So what the thing is that they must match. You see, if you find that there's a mismatch, that's a problem. Now, these also have a special meaning for us, the issuers, that once we issue these notes, we will track the day when they are issued, and when it comes back, we'll know exactly how long it has been in circulation, and that will give us an idea of the longevity of the notes that we have issued. So these are shown at the back of the notes. Now, we come to the implementation and transition. Starting today, the moment the Honorable Minister, the guest of honor, pronounces that these notes have been issued, that's when they will become legal tender. If anyone has any of those notes now, that's the stationery. It's not money. So, but once he has pronounced that they are unveiled, the arrangement is that throughout the country we have distributed these notes, except of course the 50 and the 100 kwacha, which is still under production, but we think that with the family that we have already, transactions should be easy to undertake. So the new 5 kwacha coin, 2 kwacha coin, 1 kwacha coin will from today, once they have been launched, become legal tender. But we have not withdrawn from circulation the 1 kwacha, the 15 Ngwee, 10 Ngwee coins. These will continue be circulating as legal tender. They are not going to be withdrawn. The only thing you see that with the 1 kwacha, the old 1 kwacha will have the K, but the new 1 kwacha has no K. They are both coins, but apart from that, the 5 kwacha and the 2 kwacha, they have also features for the visually impaired. The 5 kwacha coin is double clad, where on the edge you have their dots which are spread evenly across the coin. The 2 kwacha, on the other hand, you have smooth interspaced with ridges, lines. That also helps one to tell them apart. The other thing I should have mentioned is that these notes are not of the same size. The biggest note is the 500 kwacha note, which is the same size as the current notes that you have. But to assist again the visually impaired, we reduced by 5 millimeters for each subsequent lower denomination up to 10 kwacha. So they align. The other thing I should have mentioned is the colors. They talk to each other. The 10 Kwacha has got a green mark, then which becomes the bigger note, the 500, they will combine there. But you see them when you see, like you have the 200 Kwacha is linked to the 100 Kwacha and so on and so forth. What is in the middle where there's the fours there, it becomes the full color of the next knot. So all that is also to give some visual effect to how they look. So back to the transition, as I said, today the 5 Kwacha, 2 Kwacha, and 1 Kwacha coins will go into circulation. The existing 1 Kwacha, 50 Ngwee, and 10 Ngwee will continue circulating. We have over 160 million pieces in circulation of that. What will happen is that the 50 Kwacha and the 100 Kwacha will only start being withdrawn in September after we have had sufficient supply of those. But starting today, when you go to change that money, the banks will no longer be reissuing those except the 50 and the 100 Kwacha. So the transition is going to take 1 year, and starting from today. The Honorable Minister of Finance issued a statutory instrument number 9 of 2025, which spells out the withdrawal period and where this will be done. It will be done at commercial banks and NatSave branches. We are figuring out how to do it in places where we don't have a bank, we don't have NatSave, how those communities will be served. So, but these are the places where you have to go and exchange that money. Another very important point to note is that there is no fee for that exchange. So if someone is going to ask you for a fee, you know already that's a problem. But I think people are entrepreneuring enough. Some will tell you, no, give me, I'll go and exchange for you for a fee. Then you are on your own. But really the idea is you go and get for free. The other thing is that we tried our very best to sensitize the members of the public by going to all parts of the country. Now, I'll be first to admit, Honourable Minister, that we may not have reached every part we intended to reach because of the situation on the ground. Some of the places were flooded during this time of the year, so, but the exercise will continue. So the marked points there are actual points that people went to visit. Our staff, they were in all those parts of the country. They were mapped these places. When they got there, they had to confirm. So through GPS, we were able to mark that this was actually visited. So this map will be available for people to say, we reached all the 116 districts over the country. But of course, we couldn't reach every spot, but there are some spots that we reached. Now, during the process of this public awareness, one, I think it is important to stress that the public awareness was not a consultative process, which some members of the public thought it was, where they could say, no, we want this or that, or we don't want that. No, that was not the intent of this. And I am yet to know I don't know if anyone know of any country which consults everybody that now we are changing the money. Then you never issue it and to hijack it from the very beginning. So this is a security matter. It is done in secrecy and you issue it. Yes, we have heard the concerns that have been raised. So that's for the next round when we do this, that we'll take those into account. But for now, this is already done. The awareness was to make people aware of these features that I've alluded to, plus many others which you only come to know when you continue interacting with the notes. But one other challenge which we noticed, some people were saying that for those who have mobile money in mobile accounts or on your phone, some people were saying that no, you have to change this first and then redeposit. The answer is a capital N-O. There is no such thing. That is already changed for you. You don't have to do that. So we have asked the mobile money providers to actually issue messages to their clients to advise them against this. So if you hear somebody telling you to do that, you say, no, please report. That is not supposed to be the case. Okay. So the other thing is that, just to stress that this afternoon, or once we have launched, all the branches will open. Even you here who are witnessing this, you have the opportunity, once we are done with this official ceremony, there are banks already here waiting to serve you with the new currency. Of course, you have to have your old currency. It's not going to be, because if we gave them free, then we are going to be violating that very rule where we are saying that this is being exchanged one for one. So we don't want to inject new money into the system. We are exchanging the new money for the old money, or the other way around. So it's exchanging one for one. This is one of the points we have been making for those who are saying that the 500 Kwacha note is likely to drive inflation. Our answer is no, because we are exchanging one for one. It doesn't mean that now because there's 500 Kwacha, you are going to get 500 Kwacha. No, you have to have, if it's 50 Kwacha, you have to have 50 Kwacha equivalent to that, and so on and so forth. So it's a perception, and the people are saying that no, people start rounding up. No, we have the other denominations. That's why they are there, the 10 Ngwee, the 15 Ngwee. We are saying that they continue to transact. The other question we have been, which has been posed, that why do you keep these lower denominations? The issue is that our currency, the legal tender, is Kwacha and Ngwee. So we have to provide for that. And that inflation is high at the moment. That doesn't mean that will be the case forever. If anything, the target is 6 to 8%. So once we are in that range, these coins now people think are not of value will become of value. I was actually impressed the other day. I was at a supermarket and I saw somebody actually bringing out coins, and the teller was patiently actually waiting to get the coins. He said, no, I have the small change. So those coins, don't throw them away. They are very, very useful. You remember them. Maybe put a pit bank somewhere. You find that they are very handy.
So these are the transition mechanisms. The 150 will not be available immediately, but will be there. So we are urging people to be patient. The exercise not for one day. And also we have issued a circular to all the financial service providers. When one goes to draw, if you go with 1 million, don't expect to go back with 1 million. You deposit some of that money. You can walk away maybe with 300,000. That's it. The other one, it's available to you through electronic means. So we don't want to see currency in circulation, which had reached over 20 billion, to continue to being the case. So bring the money to the bank. It's more useful circulating rather than being kept under the pillow or mattress. So for those who have bank accounts, it should be easy. You go deposit into your account, then you can withdraw what you need. For the others who are not banked, the idea is you present your credentials and you'll be given the new notes. But if you have more than 300,000 Kwacha, their ask is that the banks are going to be very flexible to help you open an account. I'm sure here, anyway, I'm not speaking to you, I'm speaking with you, through you, to the other people who may not have bank accounts. But this is a matter we'll be monitoring very closely and see to it that the whole process is seamless. So let me conclude by saying that the event that we are witnessing today is a momentous one, in that this is a historic moment. So we are very grateful that you could join us in this exercise. It only happens maybe every 10 years if we are strict, but if inflation is kept low, which we are aiming to, you may not need to change the notes and coins as regularly, because they will still remain relevant. Remember that categorization I mentioned: high value, medium value, low value coins. So if those boundaries are maintained, there will be no need to change the currency, unless, of course, the security features are so eroded that you need to embed new. But then you can still have the same denominations, only change the security features on the notes. The bank is committed to a secure and efficient currency that supports economic activity. There are certain things we take for granted, and this is one of them. Until you wake up one morning, you don't have the money, and you can see how everybody gets agitated. So in the background, we are there to provide that service as efficiently and secure as possible. The bank will continue to monitor the circulation and adoption of the new currency for smooth and successful transition. So we rely on everybody to cooperate, and so far the cooperation has been excellent. So we hope that we'll continue experiencing the same as we use these notes. The bank will also continue the sensitizing exercise to the members of the public. Like I indicated, some parts of the country we are not able to reach them because they were impassable, but we'll continue through other means of communication so that everybody becomes more familiar with these notes, because security lies actually in community. It's not isolated. You can't be secure by just being secure alone. You only be secure if everybody around you is also secure, and that goes for currency. We are very aware that we have a porous border But our colleagues, Zambia Revenue Authority, they are alerted and they are already vigilant, and we also, the law enforcement agencies, are on the lookout to see that people from other countries do not invade our place to be able to take advantage of the situation. So we are also urging members of the public to cooperate, not to be used as avenues for such transactions. So again, we are strong if we maintain that unity. And that's what the notes are saying: one Zambia, one nation. To prolong the lifespan of banknotes in circulation, we urge all of us who are users of these notes to handle them with great care. Like I said, please, when you are given a note, don't just crumple it, put it, we preferably, for the gentlemen, put them in a wallet. We hope that your wallets now will become useful again, because I think you are worried that if you are carrying 1,000 Kwacha, there will be 10 notes of 100 Kwacha. Now you can put 2. But people are saying, what if I lose it? Well, that's your choice also, what you carry in your wallet. But I think you have been enabled now to use that. For the ladies also, we say that please don't crumple them, but especially in the marketplaces, carry a small bag where you can put the money into that. So otherwise, we are very happy. We hope you enjoy the new notes. Thank you for your attention. God bless.
Thank you very much, the Governor of the Bank of Zambia, Dr. Kalyalia, for giving us all those details about the new notes and coins that will be in circulation from today. But I think on a personal note, Mr. Governor, if you allow me, one thing I like about these new notes is there will be an equalizer at the ATM. You know how you're in a line at the ATM and there's someone in front of you is always asking for the maximum amount, and the ATM is counting the money, and they even turn around to see that you are taking note that they are getting the maximum amount. When it's your turn,
you ask for your amount in just 2 seconds, and your money comes out. But now it will be the same. With these big notes, there will be no one who will stand and boast, because, we'll get just about the same number of notes, spend the same time. So, yes. One thing I'm looking forward to as well is the nicknames that will come out of these new notes. Like I said, I've seen the notes from the very first, and I remember when I just started work in the late 80s and would go and get our salaries from the bank, and I think that time the highest note was a 50 Kwacha. So if you're getting more than 1,000, they would put the 50s into 1,000 and put a paper clip, and therefore you'd say 1 pin. That's how come 1 pin became the nickname for 1,000 Kwacha, because of, those, and then there was Ninja. I don't know how that came about, but there was also, I remember the fee for a visa was 50 Kwacha. So 50 Kwacha was called the visa. Now I think the latest one is Zaza for the 100 Kwacha, Zali or Zaza. I'm waiting to hear what nicknames will come out for these new notes. But as you have heard, and I'm sure we're all looking forward, the new notes will be available to all of us. And as the governor clarified, as long as you have the current or the old notes to exchange for the new, and the banks have set up just outside our hall. And so before we invite our guest of honor to address us, I'd like for you to turn your attention to the screens for a brief video that we'd like for all of you to watch. So ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention now to the screens.
From the heart of Zambia's natural wonders comes a new chapter in our currency. Introducing the new currency family, a tribute to our land, our heritage, and our future.
Wait a minute, something looks different. Mulibwanji, Zambia. I'm the new kid in town 500 Kwacha, designed with advanced security features like the color shifting ink, raised textures, and a secure watermark. I proudly showcase Victoria Falls and the mighty buffalo, symbols of our nation's strength and beauty. Let me introduce you to my friends, your new currency family.
I carry the mighty rhino and the breathtaking Kalambo Falls, symbols of resilience and natural wonder.
I highlight Zambia's economic resilience alongside the Thornycroft giraffe and Sioma Falls.
And remember, Zambia's new Kwacha banknotes may have a fresh design, but their value remains unchanged. I celebrate Zambia's unique wildlife. Look at my black-cheeked lovebirds and Ngwee Falls.
Hey Zambia, I'm the 20 Kwacha note, showcasing the rare black lechwe and the powerful Chishimba Falls.
Hi there, I'm the new 10 Kwacha note, featuring the graceful pangolin and the stunning Kawelume Falls. I'm here to make everyday transactions safe and easy.
And don't forget us, 5 Kwacha and 2 Kwacha are now coins, making everyday transactions easier.
The new currency will officially launch on the 31st of March 2025. For a full year, the existing notes will run alongside the new currency, making the transition easy for everyone. Zambia's currency is more than money. It's our story, reflecting our present and securing our future. Kwacha Ngwee, embracing our heritage.
One Zambia. Yes, indeed. And that motto will be carried even on our new notes in our currency. May I now invite the governor to do the honors of inviting our guest of honor to address us.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. It's my rare honor and privilege to call upon the Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning, who is the guest of honor, to make his keynote address. Honorable Minister, thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor. Let me start by recognizing my colleagues from Cabinet. Minister Skumba, who did a wonderful job to describe our money in tourism language. Well done, Minister. And of course, the rest of the colleagues who are there, Minister of Transport, Minister of Environment, Minister of Technology, senior government officials from the bank, members of the business community. And let me just adopt the protocols that were already established. I want to start by saying that I'm very fortunate because the Master of Ceremony says he was there when the first Zambian currency was issued, although looking at his age, I'm a little bit doubtful. But I give him the benefit of the doubt and console myself that if he saw the first Zambian kwacha, me, I saw the penny with one hole, I saw the tiki, I saw the, what were we calling the 2.5 shillings? The crown, something like that. But otherwise, I think it is really an honor for me to come and represent the government sometime in the past that we are going to change the currency. And to back that up, a statutory instrument has already been signed. That statutory instrument gives legal effect that starting this afternoon, as we've been told, the notes that were indicated, that is the 10 and 20, the 5 and 2s, those notes will be withdrawn. Therefore, as you go to the bank, expect to handle new notes. But of course, I also want to emphasize what the governor has already said. If you go in a shop and somebody gives you change in the old 10 kwacha, old 20 kwacha, 50, 100, don't say no, this is not money. Because it still remains money, currency circulation, until a year from today. So that confusion should not arise. I want to take advantage of this occasion to answer some of the issues that have been raised in our community, sometimes by way of trying to misinform people, sometimes out of lack of knowledge. But I think it's important that we clarify things so that confusion is not allowed to reign. One of those things that has been said, I think the governor alluded to it, they are bringing in new money. So there'll be too much money circulating, too much money in circulation against limited goods. This is going to cause inflation. The governor has adequately answered that. So this new money is not contrary to, I think in joking, the Minister of Tourism said each one will be given a note, and I emphasize in joking. Of course, new money is never issued like that. It is on exchange basis. Either you've got the old notes, submit, or you draw on your bank account, so the money in circulation remains flat. Change of currency does not increase money in circulation, therefore it cannot be the cause of inflation. Inflation is caused by something else. Most of the time, indiscipline in the budgetary process, in the Ministry of Finance. But you know, this Ministry of Finance is a Ministry of Discipline. So the issue of excessive money supply caused by financing the budget, that will not arise. So please rest assured that this change in money is not going to cause problems of inflation. Another issue that has been raised several times is that, again, the governor alluded to it, 500 kwacha, a lot of money. This again is going to cause inflation. Let me clarify this. Money is actually like a lubricant of an engine. The engine in this particular case being the economy. In the economy, there's buying and selling, buying and selling. For that to happen, you need money to facilitate. Because if there's no money, me am a farmer of goats, but I want to buy a plow. If there's no money, then I must take my goats to the seller of plows and say, here, take my goats, give me a plow. Of course, the seller of plows will say, I have no use for goats. So a transaction will fail to take place because there's no common medium of exchange. A transaction will fail to take place, and therefore the economic process is going to be slowed down. That is why money becomes a lubricant, because it's a common denominator. Everyone accepts money that you've been paid. So it helps to facilitate transactions, it helps to facilitate production and selling, which is what the economy is. Now, it's not enough to have money. The money itself must be convenient. Money can be there, but it must be convenient. And what we are witnessing today is an attempt to make money more convenient. In what ways? If, for example, your business is to run, say, a toll gate on the road, and your charge is 20 kwacha, then people come with 100 kwachas, 50 kwachas, 200 kwachas, 500 kwachas. That is going to slow down you. That is going to slow you down. Because when somebody presents 100, the teller there will say, sorry, I have to go and look for change. So time is wasted. A queue builds up. That oil of transactions is being impaired. That's why today there are all these coins that have been talked about. That's why today there's all these small denominations that have been talked about. That is to ensure that that economic engine is properly oiled. No one is going to waste time to go say, let me go and look for change. Of course, each and one of us we have a responsibility. Take the other way around. You are a trader of maize, and very soon the harvest season is kicking in. You are a buyer of maize. And supposing the only denomination that we are available were 10 kwacha, 20 kwacha. You go to Isoka, you go to Monze, you are going to buy maize. You are a trader. It means you have to carry suitcases. And of course, because you are scared of thieves, you not carry suitcases. So what is happening again? That oil lubricating the economic engine is going to be impaired. That's why you see all these carefully designed denominations that are being presented today, so that that engine of transactions is properly oiled and people can transact without wasting time, without wasting energy. Therefore, colleagues, countrymen and women, as we do this, there is nothing to fear that we are going to cause inflation, because this is actually helping to get the economy to grow. And at this point, I want to say that I am very pleased that in spite of the serious drought that we witnessed last year, I'm pleased to say that our economy remains resilient. I think it was just over the weekend when the Zambia Statistics Agency issued the preliminary estimates for the 2024 GDP growth, which has been put at 4%. 4%. Remember, in 2024, before the end of the year, given the drought, we are all fearing that they would hardly see any economic growth taking place in our country. We revised I think we had started with a projection of 5% before the drought came in. When the drought became evident, we lowered that to 2%. As we moved on, we lowered it further to 1.3%. But now that the fourth quarter data of last year has come out, Zamstat has revised the growth potential to 4%. This 4%, the sources of this 4%, information and technology has been the leader in that. The Minister of Tourism just gave us an indication of the growth that is taking place. Tourism has been a big driver of the growth in 2024. In spite of the lack of electricity, mining also came out strongly, I think roughly about 8%. And this came about because of the reforms that have been taking place in the energy sector. Previously, for example, there would be some surplus electricity in South Africa or Mozambique or somewhere else, but we were all dependent on ZESCO to buy that electricity and bring it in. But the reforms that have been taken enabled any other private trader to bring in that electricity. Because at times, yes, electricity surplus will be there in the neighborhood, but at that particular moment, maybe ZESCO does not have the liquidity to pay for the electricity. So the whole country suffered because only one source of that electricity, ZESCO, had no means to bring the electricity in. So with the reforms that came through, which says anyone can bring in electricity, that made sure that those who were able to pay for this electricity, like the mining sector, were able to get power. This is how the growth took place in the mining sector. Without this kind of reform, probably there would have been decline in the mining sector. So, colleagues, my issue is this. If in a year of severe drought, we come out with a growth rate of 4%, why should we hear doubts that in 2025, where you look everywhere is green, maize is available, agriculture is going to recover, some energy will recover? Why should anyone think that when we project a growth rate of 6%, we are just politicking? So I am very positive that by the end of this year, the growth rate that we are talking about, 6% and above, is going to be realized. And I believe that this is indeed the turning point. 2024, we did not really think it was a turning point, but it has ended up being a turning point because the economy has continued to rise. And I can assure you that with the work that my colleague there, the Minister of Mines, has done, 2025, the mining sector will keep on expanding. 2026, 2027, by 2027, 2028, it will just be a different story. This is how you grow an economy. This is how you bring prosperity to society, not by making empty premises, but by ensuring that there is production taking place in the economy. How else can you build schools? How else can you build clinics? How else can you create jobs without the investments And those investments are what is taking place. And that's why for this government, when we say the future is bright, we are saying so because we can see that all these fundamentals that bring the economy into production, those fundamentals are in place. So 2024 was the turning point, and I'm also happy to see that as the Zamstat also announced the inflation rates. If you recall, most of last year, inflation was climbing, although also nothing dramatic compared to some of our neighboring countries. But inflation has been coming up. And we know why this has been so. The major driver out of that was, again, the drought. I think that climb is now tipped. We've seen the rate of inflation in, are we reporting in March or February? Was that March? March, yeah. We've seen the inflation tipping. And I can assure you that going to May, June, because most of the driver of this inflation is maize and maize-related products, I am confident that the tip for inflation has also been reached, and therefore we are in good place to get back to single-digit inflation, which is where we were before these droughts and other disturbances came through. So I think we are, for those who are saying, yes, 500 kwacha is an admission of the inflation getting out of control, I'm saying you are celebrating too early. Inflation is getting under control very soon, okay? Inflation is coming under control very soon. And by the way, sometimes people misunderstand the buying habits here compared to elsewhere. Inflation is going up in most countries. A house in, say, UK, the prices have gone up. In South Africa, prices have gone up. Some of you will say, how come they're not printing notes of 500 pounds, 1,000 pounds? Why are they not doing that? Why are we printing a note of 500 kwacha? The answer is very simple. Even though they're also having inflation, the buying patterns, buying habits in these countries is different. For them, notes and coins have actually become the change of money. No one in France carries thousands or hundreds of francs to go and buy a fridge. They don't do that. If you want to buy a fridge, what do? You present a credit card, you present a debit card, or you buy it on hire purchase. Nobody goes in South Africa with a bundle of rands to say, I'm going to buy a car from the showroom. Why? Because they use cards, you use the banking system. But here in our country, it's not the case. We don't have that culture. We have made progress. Yes, we've made progress, but we are not yet there. So when you see the big denomination as 500, it's not a failure to control inflation. It's just a reflection of the way we in Zambia conduct our purchases. You go and buy a fridge, you carry a bundle of notes. You go and buy a cooker, you carry a bundle of notes. But we're making progress. And this is why I think part of the policies is to encourage the migration to mobile money. With the more towers Mr. Mtati is putting in place, more and more people are shifting to mobile money, but we are not yet there. For now, we have to be prepared that there are people who are going to go in Mkushu to buy maize. The traders and the farmers don't yet trust each other. So cash must be available. That's the only reason why we are doing this. But we keep on pushing more and more digitization, more and more digitization. We are making progress, but we are not yet there. So the 500 kwacha, the 200 is not a failure of policy. It's just a reflection of the way we transact as a people. I thought I should clarify on those issues which are sometimes used to misinform people. At this stage, I think, let me conclude. And I suppose, in conclusion, the governor would want me to say, are you giving any particular time, or can I say now? Oh, I'm told I have to unveil the notes. I'm ready for that, Governor.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Finance, for launching. So the unveiling will be happening in just a little while. But just after our guest of honor speech, I think it's time for us to celebrate in the best way that we can under the circumstances. And to help us celebrate, we have the Bank of Zambia Choir, who will give us some items of music, indeed to put context and to escort the message from our guest of honor following the launch of the new notes. And that will be followed by a sketch, which will also be performed right in front of us. And then the moment that we are here for will come. So let's put our hands together for the Bank of Zambia Choir. The song that the Bank of Zambia Choir will sing has been composed specifically for this occasion. And so I advise us all to pay particular attention to the lyrics and the delivery of I think the Bank of Zambia Choir deserves a bigger round of applause. Thank you indeed for encapsulating this moment in that song, and even adding that song that talks about the beautiful land of Zambia with all its wonderful features that are indeed contained and featured in the new notes. Now we're going to have a sketch, and this is going to be presented by Kinako Arts and Production. Let's put our hands together for Kinako Arts and Production as they come with their presentation.
You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. We don't have time. I told you, we don't have time. Okay, we have to move fast. They have money there, actually. Okay, so we're going to other provinces. Make sure that we're going to be safe.
Safe. Don't worry. I'm done. Need background. Don't worry. Okay.
We don't want mistakes.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Don't worry. And listen good. Failure is not an option, but a death sentence. You know what I mean?
Don't worry. Lekanchen tamange background. Hello? Pale wantu pano? Nsane. Mama. Muli bwanje?
Nerume kamjani.
Fit.
Mwiti hapa wewe.
Fit mama. Mama. Inesinanga ndine gunduzani zalule. Nisebenzela ku Bank of Zambia. Mwazi wa governor of Bank of Zambia. Dr. Denny Kanari and me. I like this. So. Not to talk of the Minister of Finance. If it's him, we even rub shoulders at mama like this. Mama, me, I work for the Bank of Zambia. We're the ones sensitizing the new currency. So we were sent on the ground. In each province, there's only one. So you're even lucky that I've come to visit you. So what we are doing,
on your
Mama,
picture,
that we are getting the old currency.
The motorcade carrying the new currency, which will be launched by the Minister of Finance. It's an activity that goes a long way, really, in speaking to the issues that the bank governor did raise. Remember that the new series of Zambian Kwacha featuring 6 banknotes in 10 Kwacha, 20 Kwacha, 50 Kwacha, 100 Kwacha, 200 and 500 denominations represents Zambia's key economic pillars and cultural diversity, as well as fostering a sense of connection and appreciation of the country's national heritage. So there is the new currency, which the Minister of Finance will launch here at the Mulungushi International Conference Center. We must add that we have a number of commercial banks that have set up here at the Mulungushi International Conference Center, where they will be transacting with the new notes as well during this procession. And that package you saw earlier on will be presented to the Minister of Finance, who is going to then launch the new series of the Zambian Kwacha.
That is why we are going for a rally.
Yes.
Why changing things without consulting us stakeholders?
This is some people called the Bank of Zambia went ahead and make a drastic decision without involving us, necessary authorities and stakeholders. They made this new money, they are going heritage gains. This is some heritage gains has brought more harm than good.
Yes.
Baba, can you tell your woman what these people have done?
The new currency don't have macheni.
And then how are we going to tell our children how we fought for independence without
independence? Where are freedom fighters?
Siabo Bega, Chinyonya Mama, that bed which was comfortably seated laying eggs, it is flying. Oh, it is flying.
The hair on the man,
They've replaced it again with the W.
Why?
It is no longer Kwacha, it is Wacha.
Mark another thing. 2 Kwacha, 5 Kwacha. Asadwa is a coin now.
Yeah, mama, vuto ikulu. Nikushitotenga 5 Kwacha kusandula coin. Imagine ninaanda 16 pa nyumba every morning. Niwa serious ngati. Mama coin jua.
Don't cry, please.
Coin transformed into 5 Kwacha.
Stop crying.
No, what they've done is they've transformed Shrank a whole beautiful looking 5 Kwacha into a coin.
Oh, this is where the problem is. Don't worry about that, sir. Don't worry about that. Stop crying about that issue. All right? The issue of the coin at Yachinja, from being a paper to a coin, they had reasons. You know, the Bank of Zambia is the institution that is mandated to start taking care of our notes. You understand? So, baby, what you organize to say, no, the paper, it was the 5 Kwacha was the most used white note. You understand? So, in the exchange of those notes, so they decided to change it into a coin so that it lasts longer and it does not get destroyed.
Wait, Bank of Zambia. Bank of Zambia.
No, even the ID is here. There's no one who came.
What was the main reason of the Bank of Zambia deciding to change the notes without informing us stakeholders?
I'm sure you work together.
If it is the issue of the phone at no mobile phone, those are scammers. Women. Did they produce any ID? Say they work for Bank of Zambia.
Say, Mama, you were here.
Yes, those are scammers. They are thieves. They are crooks. Don't allow such kind of people to misinform you. You understand? Please don't allow them. Officials from Bank of Zambia always have logos like this one here. Okay. So the issue of the Bank of Zambia changing the currency without informing you stakeholders, it is a matter of security. You understand that? Security. Yes. But still, they went ahead and designed the note. You know, we've been singing about the issue of freedom from 1964 to now. We have sung the same song over and over. Yes, they thought of changing the rhythm a bit. Let us now appreciate Mother Zambia for the national heritage that it now has given us. They want to say thank you very much to Mother Zambia. They went ahead and redesigned the note. Put the Victoria Falls there. Put different forces there. They went ahead and put what? The animals that are indigenous to Zambia.
Black buffalo.
Yes, it is there. Only specially met, we can only meet it in Zambia. You see? And you are complaining to say macheni.
Macheni, and the animal, the bird.
Eagle is now
The
flying.
eagle is flying.
Why?
The issue is the eagle was comfortably seated. They thought of saying, let us show the mightiness of the eagle. Let it soar up in the sky. Let it come down there and show its mightiness. And then we see the growth of our economy. You understand? So don't worry about that.
And I saw they put you on a chite Victoria Falls.
Yes, that one is one of the strategies to market our country through tourism. You understand? Where else in this country can you find the Kalambo Falls? Chishimba Falls, where else? The mighty Victoria Falls, where else? It is in Zambia. You understand? So it is a strategy for us to market our country out there. So as we are exchanging these notes, as the notes go outside of the borders of Zambia, people are going to be able to see these indigenous poses that we have and the animals, including the different species of trees that we have in this country, and they will be attracted to come and view. In the process, what is going to happen? They are going to bring in forex. And forex is going to increase, improve our economy. So what are you complaining about?
A Bank of Zambia.
Yes.
You have explained very well.
Very good.
Now the issue is that rumor has it that they changed the money they wanted to get hold of.
Some individuals.
Oh, to say that is what is going around. I can assure you to say that one is just propaganda. It is just there to give false information to people. This issue started way back, a long time ago. Okay? The process has taken a lot of time. But in 2021, the board was given authority to say you can go ahead and work on the new note. You understand? And it is not only that. Yes, 2021. And this is 2025. And it's not only that. The issue of exchanging notes, the notes are going to be going side by side for a period of 1 year. If that was the issue, in the period of 1 year, if it was the issue of catching people, what do you think?
For the wise, it is enough.
That's why now we are saying it is a new currency, same value, increased security features.
Increased security features.
Enhanced security features. Let's do that. I teach you now. A new currency, same value, enhanced security features.
All your ears, so listen. Do not drown in a sea of misinformation and political propaganda misleading you with their agenda. So get your cameras ready, for I am about to implore you to get a bigger picture about your money with our new notes. In there lies the power. Power in your wallet, power in your back pocket, power in your bank account. So ifake muizi ziba ndalama zako, ifake muizi ziba makwacha yako. You see, the introduction of the 500 kwacha and 200 kwacha note has only been built to store value so that our currency does not go to waste. The introduction of the 500 kwacha and 200 kwacha note have only been built to store the value so that our currency does not go to waste. It will tuck in and stomach the bigger transactions, making us look smart because we will not be moving around with bags of money. It will not allow us to move around with bags of money. So you see, this new currency and the new notes of 5 kwacha and 2 kwacha turned into coins have only been made to be ions, ironing out the wrinkled faces of our value, losing its durability. So this money is a compass that will circulate and circumnavigate our currency into circulation. So this currency is the one that we must support. You see, this currency is the kind that we must raise to embrace as it embraces our cultural heritage, like the majestic African eagle carrying our heritage as our wealth. For our wealth, this eagle, like spreading our heritage like a majestic eagle, telling the stories of how beautiful Zambia is, from the mesmerizing cascading waters of the Mosotunya to the Kalambo Falls, the Chishimba Falls, and how glorious our beautiful animals have made a home and dwelling on our money. This new note is the kind that supports the 73 tribes in Zambia, because now with Braille, the blind will be able to know our language and speak the value of our notes. This currency is the one that has enhanced security features. It will make Matero be jealousy, because now we'll not have counterfeit money. So let us join hands with the Bank of Zambia as they turn our kwacha into a seed that will grow into food for the farmer, food for the nurse, food for the accountant, food for the teachers, and food for our communities. So let us hold hands and join the Bank of Zambia in bringing economic development and financial stability. So let's go. Ifake muizi ziva ndalama zako, ifake muizi ziva makwacha yako.
A new currency, same value, enhanced security features. You are the one who was. No, he's the one who was. You are the one who was pretending to be an officer from Bank of Zambia. No, no, you are the one. So we are reporting you. Police. I am a Zambian. I am innocent.
Another big round of applause for the drama group. Don't you just love drama and poetry? Yeah, my words are polygamous. I hope my wife is not watching this. I'll be in trouble tonight. But thank you, Kinako, for indeed that depiction of what really happens, in these communities around us. And I think even the Bank of Zambia governor alluded to it. And this is what we really have to make sure doesn't happen. But I think one thing that is very delightful about all of this, the launch of this new family of notes and coins in this currency, is how everything just seems to be tying up with the national theme. Especially as we celebrated last year, Zambia at 60, honoring our heritage and embracing our future. And it looks like the Bank of Zambia said, how can we merge the two? And they said, we will embrace our heritage. So well done, Bank of Zambia, indeed, well done. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, the moment is here. The moment has come. Many of us have witnessed a scene from different places, maybe on Great East Road or even in town, just around the Bank of Zambia premises. But tonight, we will witness, we will behold it right here. In fact, we will all be a part of it. We wish we had 3D glasses to distribute to all of you for this very, very dramatic point and scene that we are about to witness. To start off, I invite you all now to turn your attention to the screens for the delivery of the new family of notes and coins right here to the Mulungushi International Conference Center. I'm sure they're doing the final security checks, making sure everyone is in place, everything
and so the new notes about to be received by the Minister of Finance, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane, who is the guest of honor here at the Mulungushi International Conference Center. And it's worth mentioning that the new notes will be in transaction here, so to speak, as the selected commercial banks have established points that will allow the delegates here, the invited guests, to transact and acquire the new notes. So the new series of Zambian Kwacha, featuring 6 banknotes in 10 Kwacha, 20 Kwacha, 50 Kwacha, 100 Kwacha, 200 and 500 Kwacha denominations, will be showcased here at the Mulungushi International Conference Center. My name is Brian Mulamba, and I'm in the company of Dr. Austin Mwange, who is an economist, just to pick his brain as we wait for the arrival of the notes here, which will make some very interesting grand entry to the Mulungushi International Conference Center, where various stakeholders have gathered to witness the launch of a new family of the Zambian currency. And so there you have it, the currency making its grand entry into the Mulungushi International Conference Center. That's the aerial view of the transportation of the a new family of the Zambian currency. So, Doc, as we witness this particular event, in a very brief sense, your impression with regards to this very important economic activity?
First of all, we wish to thank Bank of Zambia for coming up with the initiative of making this whole process be known across the country via Facebook, other social platforms, and our national broadcasters, ZNBC. So this in one way is an education approach that people are aware today that we are changing, we are having another family of notes which will run side by side for the next 1 year. But what is very important is to maybe explain to the Zambian people, especially that in the last couple of weeks, we have had concerns about issues saying inflation. We have to emphasize that the money supply in circulation remains the same. The Bank of Zambia has not increased money supply. Each person remains with the quantity of money that he has. Each company remains with the quantity of money that they have in value terms. So if I have 100 kwacha and I want to change, I'll remain with 100 kwacha. So this activity does not lead to inflation. What we can only work on as a nation, as explained in the 8th National Development Plan, is economic transformation. This is what is going to solve all the inflationary issues that we have. From KK, we looked at economic reforms, Chiluba economic liberalization. The MMD looked at economic liberalization. The PF economic diversification. Our current government economic transformation. So the message remains the same. Our economy needs to be transformed. And once we become an economy that can export and earn more forex, we will not suffer from the imported inflation or inflation that is as a result of the fluctuations in the exchange rate. Currently also we have issues of climate change. When you follow climate change, and I think this one now everybody knows how it has affected us inflation-wise, how it has pushed the cost of electricity, the cost of production, all these things, the inflation we have faced before, has nothing to do with introducing new currency, because we have had it, and the board has been trying to reduce inflation from 20-something in the 2019, 2020 to where we are today at around 16%. Thank you.
And so we're just about to witness the new currency here. Not the new currency per se, but the new family or new series of the Zambian Kwacha. And it's in that package, as you can see, the two Zambians carrying it into the main hall here at the Mulungushi International Conference Center under tight security, as it is every time there is the transportation of money. So here at the Mulungushi International Conference Center, delegates from various sectors of the economy have gathered here to witness this very, very important event indeed. A number of reasons have been given by the central bank as to what has led to this undertaking. Remember that it was birthed in 2021 on the 30th of July. This was triggered by the central bank board, and ever since the Bank of Zambia has been trying to see how best this launch can be done, and today is the day that marks a huge landmark in terms of the country's currency. Doc, one of the issues that has been raised by the central bank is the fact that now we've got 500 as the highest note in the land. This is so as to deal with what was happening in the past. Our highest note, the 100 kwacha, which was supposed to be store value, so to speak, became more transactional than its original, reason for its existence. Now things have changed, and that is all to try and address the issue that was posed by the 100 kwacha becoming more transactional.
I think, first of all, the 100 kwacha still has some store of value. We can't completely say it is going for transactional only. It remains closer to high-level usage, high-value usage. But this process, if you see when the history of the Zambian currency, when you introduce a high-value note, they are not looking at it for today. This program, this approach is to cover the number of years. Look, from 2013, this is 2026. So the 200 kwacha, 500 kwacha should be able to store the value beyond 10 years, beyond 15 years. So I think this is what we can say for now. Thank you.
And so there comes your new kwacha, the new family of the Zambian currency, unfolding in front of your eyes thanks to your national broadcaster and the Minister of Finance, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane, will lead the country and the central bank in launching this new family of the Zambian currency. The theme for this new currency, new family of the Zambian currency, is heritage, and that can be amplified by the presence of the Minister of Tourism, Mr. Rodney Zikumba, MP, who is here as a part of the high table, so to speak, to just amplify the fact that tourism is another narrative that is trying to be driven.
Are we ready to see the new notes? We can add a countdown now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, and there they are in living color. So we will indeed invite our guest of honor. The new family in the currency comprises coins and notes. And so we will start with the coins. And as you heard, the addition to the family of coins are the 5 and the 2 kwacha. The rest of the coins in the denominations of 1 kwacha, 50 ngwee, 10 ngwee, and 5 ngwee will remain legal and will continue to circulate even after the transition period expires. So those are the coins, and I'm sure you've seen the new 5 kwacha and the new 2 kwacha revealed by our guest of honor. of the coins. The coins series. And now, the paper money. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the new 10 Kwacha. And the new 10 Kwacha features the Zambezi teak tree and the Kawelume Falls. That's the new 10 Kwacha note. Of these new notes, everyone to be conversant with a lot of these features that our country boasts about in terms of tourism. From the 10 Kwacha now, we're moving to the 20 Kwacha. The new 20 That's 2 down, 4 to go. The next note, featuring the black-checked lovebirds and the Ngwee Falls, is the 50 Kwacha. The next note, featuring the black-checked lovebirds and the Ngwee Falls, is the 50 Kwacha. So that actually is the 200 Kwacha featuring the Ngombeile, the tree, and the black rhino and the... So that actually is the 200 Kwacha featuring the Ngombeile, the tree, and the black rhino and the Kalambo Falls. That's the 200 Kwacha right in front of you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the big one. Introducing the new, for the first time in Zambia, the big one. The 5 Kwacha note. Introducing the new, for the first time in Zambia, the 500 Kwacha note. Of course, the 500 Kwacha note features the acacia tree. And of course, the 500 Kwacha note features the acacia tree, the buffalo, and the mighty Mosi Otunya, or Shunguna Mutitima, also known as the Victoria Falls. Let's give a big round of applause indeed to our guests of honor. Microphone. The microphone. Deliver to. We would like to take microphone. Could I have that one? Could we have a microphone delivered to? Could I have that one, please? Yes.
Thank you very much indeed. With that presentation and demonstration, these notes that are here and the coins, thank you very much. They are no longer stationary. They are now legal tender money. From this moment, they are no longer stationary.
So now I'd like to take some pictures, obviously, with the new notes.
From this moment,
So now I'd like to take some pictures, obviously, with the new notes. So would like for all those at the high table that are standing in front of us right now to each hold a note. I know perhaps you all be tempted to hold the 500, but would like to have a variety of the notes displayed for this first photo op. And the governor
So
insisted that the money has to be put back.
New family of the Zambian currency becomes legal tender. The Minister of Finance and National Planning has launched the new family of the Zambian currency. And in comparison to the old currency, so to speak, the high value store of value banknotes were 100 kwacha and 50 kwacha. Now it is the 200 kwacha and the 500 kwacha. The medium value, which was the transactional banknotes, were 20 kwacha and 10 kwacha. Now the medium value transactional banknotes will be 100 kwacha and 50 kwacha. The low value small transactions and change in the previous family of the Zambian currency, it was 5 kwacha and 2 kwacha. But now the new low value small transactions and change will be 20 kwacha and 10 kwacha. The coins, which did account for the micro transactions and change, will now be 5 kwacha, 2 kwacha, 1 kwacha, 15 Ngwee, 10 Ngwee, and 5 Ngwee. The previous one, it was 1 kwacha, 15 Ngwee, 10 Ngwee, and 5 Ngwee as the coins that were accounting for the micro transactions and change. So in comparison to what was pretending in the past, you now have the 500 kwacha and the 200 kwacha as the high value store of value banknotes, and the 100 kwacha and 50 kwacha will now be the medium value transactional notes, banknotes if you like, and the low value small transactions and change will now be the 20 kwacha and the 10 kwacha. While for the coins, which account for the micro transactions and change, will range from the 5 kwacha, 2 kwacha, 1 kwacha, 15 Ngwee, 10 Ngwee, and 5 Ngwee. That is what is going to account for the series of the new banknotes and coins launched here at the Mulungushi International Conference Center. Your impression, Dr. Wange, with regards to how this is going to impact the country's economy?
First of all, it will reduce the cost of printing. This money which we use in the country, Bank of Zambia pays for printing. So what they have done on those notes with high velocity, the ones that we use frequently, like 5 kwacha, the 2 kwacha we had, and so forth, they have made them coins, and coins have a lifespan of 30 years, so meaning that there will not be frequent printing, so the government or boards will not spend money printing frequently. So it may seem to be a cost today, but it's a saving in the future. And also the other notes, polymer notes, are a combination of paper and polymer, making them very, very strong, so that as they circulate from one person to another, the lifespan has been strengthened. So the cost of printing again has been reduced in the future. That's one thing which I think we should appreciate. I know some people are saying, no, it's a cost, but this is a cost we are facing today, but a saving in the future. So the Bank of Zambia will not frequently print the notes. And this is something that we developing countries need. When you invest in something, it should be for a longer term, and this is what Bank of Zambia has done. And this is I think they considered the culture, the Zambian culture towards the way we manage our notes and coins. So they had to consider that sometimes we are not very, I may say we are careless sometimes. So you find that you fold the note anyhow. So making the wear and tear to be easy. But now wear and tear will be reduced. That means money will circulate and circulate there, no matter how the velocity is, and that will make the country spend the money elsewhere on other things than reprinting money. But also importantly is that for ease of doing business, we've been given a variety. I know we are in a digital era where we're promoting digital finance and so forth, but there are also cash transactions that are needed frequently, especially for, like right now, as the governor explained on Sunday interview, there's so much cash that is needed for social cash transfer in the rural areas, cash for work and so forth. So it will be okay for us to have this. It's going to help, I think, have the cash circulate, and also with less wear and tear. And so it becomes one of the varieties where you can use digital as well as cash. Cash will not completely be eliminated. Just like, as you see, we are academics, we have electronic books, and hard copy books haven't been eliminated completely. So this is an initiative, and I think we are also going to urge boards to do more awareness and our culture towards coins, because a 5 kwacha is still very useful. So I think that will also help us take care of the coins even more and respect and appreciate the coins even more, because we have another very strong denomination in the form of 5 kwacha, which I think still you can buy something up to now. But we also urge just each one of us to ensure that when we are looking at inflation, let's all focus on ensuring that our economy is completely transformed, so that we'll be able to export more and more forex. Then we are going to ensure that our kwacha is stable, and we reduce imported inflation, and also we need to ensure that when it comes to production, if we can produce more even locally, because you know inflation is when you are having money that is focusing maybe on consumption. Our banks, if more entrepreneurs can come on board, as we are promoting through the Ministry of SMEs, and more are borrowing for production, then we have nothing to fear. Bank of Zambia has not printed money to increase money supply. No, it is within the quantities that they have for our economy. But we need to ensure that we look at this from economics and finance perspective, not from the political point of view. As economics is here, the quantity of money remains the same. Nothing has been produced for or printed for consumption. And most importantly is that these notes have got new features. You know, from 2013 to date, technology has advanced. Even fraudulent activities are now to copy the money, to reproduce a similar note illegally. It was possible, but now I think they have countered the technology that has occurred, or now counterfeit can also be countered using these notes and coins. So that's, I think, what is important, and also looking ahead into the future. Which notes can store the value in the next 20 years? And I think 200 kwacha, 500 kwacha will withstand the pressure of inflation and pressures. But I know that the country has had good rains now, and they are also focusing on diversifying our power supply, and attending to climate issues. So, and the restructuring is coming to an end, debt restructuring. So we expect inflation to be stable, and hopefully move into the 6 to 8% targets, which usually are set every year as a macroeconomic objective target. If that is done, then I think the cost of business will also be within what is expected. Thank you.
And so you spoke very well when you talk about what used to happen in the past, and I'm saying what used to because given the aspiration of the central bank as it brings into life now the 5 kwacha as a coin, the 5 kwacha and 2 kwacha in their note form, like you mentioned, the damage was extremely grave, and the bank governor once mentioned that sometimes the central bank does not even receive the 5 kwacha and the 2 kwacha notes because they get damaged in the economy, and some people discard them and throw them, which, like you mentioned, is a cost on the economy because then it means the central bank has to print more, isn't it?
Oh yes, and also when you look at notes, all those counting machines, the ATMs, they are supposed to
release those notes. Now, if you look at a 2 kwacha, you look at a 5 kwacha, the way the wear and tear is, even counting machines can't detect them. They actually end up damaging machines for banks and businessmen. So I think now these notes, especially that some are polymer and we have moved to coins for the other smaller notes like 2 kwacha, 5 kwacha, this will be better. And I think it's just the culture that we should know and appreciate that there is value in coins. I think even now the 1 kwacha is so useful. What more a 2 kwacha? What more a 5 kwacha? It will remain very useful. So we just need to look at that. And I think for banks it will be easier now to count money starting from 10 kwacha, which can come out of the ATM, which was not the case because of the 2 kwacha, 5 kwacha. Which could not withstand the velocity, and you could see the wear and tear that they have.
All right, so we sing the national anthem, and then we perhaps wind up. We'll come back just to summarize what has happened here at the Mulungu International Conference Center.
So, shall we all stand for the closing anthem? And then after the anthem will remain standing as the guest of honor is ushered out, and he will be led to the booths outside where the exchange of the notes will be taking place. Then after he has been served, the rest of us can also follow the sequence of the cabinet ministers, the secretary to cabinet, the mayor. They will follow the guest of honor. Then after that, all of us that would like to make our way there to get the new money will be free to do so. So now, the Bank of Zambia choir with the anthem.
Stand and sing of Zambia, proud and free, land of work and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for their right. We've won freedom's fight, all one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by God's good hand. Let us, all our people, join as one, brothers under the sun. All one, strong and free. Like a noble eagle, it is fighting down, praise to thee. All one, strong and free. Praise be to God. Praise be, praise be, praise be. Praise our great free men we stand under the flag of our land, Zambia. Praise to thee, all one, strong and free.
Thank you. Thank you. Our guest of honor will now be ushered out to the booths outside. And You have the first opportunity to exchange. And take possession of the brand new notes.
History has been made here at the Mulungushi International Conference Center as the Minister of Finance and National Planning, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane, has officially launched a new family of the Zambian currency, and he walks out of here a proud man, followed by the Minister of Tourism, Honorable Sikumba, whose ministry had an input in designing the new family of the Zambian currency. So, Doc, what's the takeaway point from this particular event?
Okay, I think going forward now, there should be an accelerated campaign in terms of ensuring that every person knows what is taking place now is to change to start taking the money into various banks. You exchange with the new notes, but also knowing the features. And one thing which I think I also want to mention is that these features, the new notes are more inclusive, in the sense that our colleagues who are visually impaired, the notes have been very strengthened in terms of them to be able to detect the type of note that they are